Men represent, we go full. Evident, it's hot, dog. You know what I'm talking, how we walking, y'all. About to get it, yeah, so exquisite. Traveling all across the globe. Let you know just how we roll. Keep it in control, that's what we do. Yeah, we talking that revenue. Somebody beat, I'ma just rip the shreds. Like the chicken on your taco, 3 in the morning, street cred. Man, yeah, we out here on the sequence. Never motherfucker cheating because the answers all within. I educate, dog, and I blend amongst the crowd, black and I'm proud. I get down, man, that's gravity. Motherfuckers got the tenacity, actually try to tackle me, man. I've been a super athlete. It means I'm airborne, man. Shit, gonna motherfucking get your vaccine. I stay clean. Yeah, man, shit, me, never me, unless you're talking about the average. But, man, I'm trying to be exponential daily. Yeah, man, pay me.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Elevated Healthy. I appreciate everyone for checking in, you know. And this Memorial Day originated by Native Black Americans, this holiday. So, as a commemoration, I wanted to research all black towns and how Native Black Americans pulled themselves up by the bootstraps. So, as we dive into this National Museum of African American History and Culture website, hit that hitchhike button for me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? As we get it going, I'm gonna let some people come in. Let me know where y'all from, man, when y'all jump up in here. And if you want to come on in, join the live too, don't hesitate to come on in. What up to everybody jumping on in the live, man? We're gonna start in just a moment. How's y'all weekend going, man? I hope all is well. I hope y'all got a paid holiday if y'all working. You know what I'm saying? Got to chill out today. And for those who are working, man, I commend y'all for wanting to work today. You know what I'm saying? So get your money. Let me know where y'all from in the chat box, man. I appreciate that. What y'all got going today, man? Y'all hanging out with the fam? What y'all got going? What it do? What it do? What it do? What up? What up? What up? We're about to get started. Life after slavery, man. Reconstruction defines the period after the Civil War when the federal government controlled former Confederate states. When federal troops were stationed in the South, African Americans made economic progress and elected representatives to local, state, and national office. But when federal troops withdrew in 1877, white Southerners challenged African Americans' rights and freedoms. Violence and intimidation were used to keep African Americans from voting owning land and exercising their independence. Okay. So life after slavery still consisted of violence and intimidation that were used to keep African Americans from voting, owning land, and exercising their independence. We're going to harp on that for a few minutes. It's very important to notate. Here you got Native Black Americans pulling themselves up by the bootstraps, building their economic progress, electing their representatives. But then you have white Southerners, violence and intimidation, lynchings. In this country, 1776 or however you want to go back with it. Besides, other Europeans, British, whites really never had an issue with being able to develop economically in this country, make mistakes and correct themselves, and ethno aggregate, unite, build things together, start industries, no prohibitions. But then you have a group that was already here that was sanctioned under slavery, making a way out of none. So again, we're gonna really talk about this today. African American population statistics in the 1870s. African American population 1870. Percentage of African American population by state and territory. So 1870, I want y'all to look at this. Notice 1870, this is like less than 2%. But yet and still, Native Black Americans are already out here. But look down here in these look at this. Could they've been already there from the get-go? Okay. So yeah. 1870 statistical highlights. 90% of African Americans lived in the South and 85% in rural areas. Total U.S. population by 1870, 38,558,000. Top city, New Orleans. 1870, New Orleans, Louisiana had the largest African American population. 20% of African Americans knew how to read in 1870. All right. So let's go down to all black towns. Then we're going to come back to black codes and all of that. And there's way more than what this website is showing. I just want to give the people an idea of how black people have been building themselves up from the get go, man. All right. So Montgomery County, Maryland. All my Maryland people, man, where y'all at, man? By 1900, there were at least 8 African American communities in Montgomery County, Maryland. Unlike other rural communities, residents were not tenant farmers. They owned the land. Owning land gave black Marylanders great autonomy over the crops they produce and was an important step towards independence because they owned their own homes. African Americans can make improvements and put down community roots. Descendants of these early settlers still live in these communities today. A mother and her children in Montgomery County, Maryland, in the late 1800s. Beautiful. Late 1800s, people. There were people from Europe coming into America strong in the 1920s and 30s. They had a lot of differences, but they united under that white umbrella. African American life in Montgomery County. So let's go here. Oh, okay, just giving you a picture of what it looks like. Okay, cranes, building. Look at that. Like a wealthy family right here. Grandpa and Grandpa Mason. Grandpa and Grandma Mason in 1913. Sugarland. Anybody know about Sugarland in Maryland? Yeah, check this out. Now we go on to Jonesville, Maryland. In 1874, Richard and Erasmus Jones purchased 9 acres of land from the Joseph Bronner estate in Montgomery County, Maryland, forming land on which they were previously enslaved. The brothers eventually gave parcels to their children and other relatives. Jonesville, as the community became known, featured a school and church built by its residents. By 1900, it was one of 8 black communities in western Montgomery County. The Jones Hall Sims House was one of the first homes built in Jonesville, though no surviving photograph of the original house exists. This 1979 picture shows the house after several additions and improvements. Purchased land that they were enslaved on and gave land to their people. Pulling themselves up by the bootstraps, people. Started from nothing. All right. Now we go on down to the south, baby. Eatonville, Florida. Eatonville. Any Zora Neale Hurston fans in the building, hit that like button. Eatonville was named after Josiah C. Eaton, one of the few white landowners in the area willing to sell tracts of land to African Americans. Black families first bought land in Eatonville in 1882. 5 years later, 27 African American men voted to incorporate the town, which consisted of 112 acres. Their vote made Eatonville the first incorporated African American community in the nation. Author and anthropologist Zora Neale Hurston grew up in Eatonville. She has fond memories of the town and used it as the setting for several of her works. It's a beautiful story when you think about it. Eatonville, Florida. Shout out to Eatonville. All right, let's go to some of the pictures here. It's the Robert Hungerford Normal and Industrial School Sawmill. Notice something? Everything was either farming or industry. But yet they say we've done nothing. Zora Neale Hurston, beautiful. Member badge for the House of Ruth belonging to Josephine B. Tate. All black towns of Oklahoma. In 1890, the Oklahoma Immigration Association began to send agents throughout the South to recruit African Americans to the territory. The agents told of opportunities in Oklahoma and its all black towns like Guthrie and Langston. The agents also described African American communities in larger cities like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Muskogee. The group even launched an unsuccessful effort to make Oklahoma an all black state. How many people were aware of this? Native Black Americans, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, Greenwood, Langston, Langston University, people building. But pay attention to this. The Oklahoma Immigration Association began to send agents throughout the South to recruit African Americans to the territory. Recruit. Why was that? Because they knew African Americans were industrious people, builders, inventors. Elliott family in Oklahoma, gift of the descendants of Willis and Julia Elliott. Thank you for that. Brock owned, Brooch owned by the Elliott family. Don't know what a brooch is, but it's beautiful. Like diamond encrusted. Let's zoom in on that. Oh yeah, nice cuts. Boy, that's hand cut right there. All right. Freedman Town, Houston, Texas. H Town, where you at, baby? Gregory School Building, 1903. All my Texas people, man, hit that like button, man. Freedman's Town, Houston, Texas. After the Civil War, free people settled in what is now Houston's Fourth Ward. African Americans went to Houston in search of opportunity and safety. They bought land, built churches, organized schools, and established businesses geared to their own needs. By 1900, Freemanstown was a thriving community in the center of Black Houston. Nicodemus, Kansas. In 1877, a land developer and a black minister formed the Nicodemus Town Company to attract African American settlers from the South. The town in northwest Kansas offered farmland for sale and promised greater economic independence. Some 300 settlers arrived from Kentucky, hoping to leave behind increasing discrimination. They built a school and a church, and for a time, the town flourished. But the railroad bypassed Nicodemus, and the town's development faltered. The town of Nicodemus still exists today and is a National Historic Landmark. Yeah, man. You see what this story read? They bypassed Nicodemus. Why is that? Why y'all hating on Native Black Americans, man? Y'all been doing this for quite a while. And when we talk about reparations, it ain't because we begging, man. We get out here and get it every day. You can't have $1 trillion purchasing power if you're not out here getting it in some way, shape, or form, fashion. Washington Street in Nicodemus, Kansas. Look at this. Check them out, man. You don't see this? Yeah. Early homestead in Nicodemus, Kansas. Building like it's nothing. uh, this is what they want to take out of schools. Mound Bayou, Mississippi. In 1887, Isaiah T. Montgomery and Benjamin T. Green founded Mound Bayou on 840 acres of land they purchased from Joseph Davis, who was the brother of Jefferson Davis, the former president of the Confederate States of America. The town was created in collaboration with the Yazoo and Mississippi Valley Railroad, which needed help clearing the land for its railroad tracks. The first settlers wanted to create a place allowing African Americans to escape Southern repression and build sanctuaries for themselves and their families. So the government needed help because they couldn't find qualified, meritorious people to clear their landway. So who did they turn to? Native Black Americans yet again. I'm telling you, when we say we built this nation, and it's not a moniker, it's an actual fact. Oh, let's go to the pictures here. This is downtown Mound Bayou. Now, this is perhaps in the 20s or 30s, right? So imagine if you didn't do all the stuff that has taken place in this nation towards black people, how prosperous their outlook would be from this point to now. It will be a totally different ball field, and the people know it. Look, Mound Bayou Oil Mill. Do y'all see this? They had shares. People could buy shares, man. Incorporated under the laws of the state of Mississippi. It's not a game. Stock certificate for the Mound Bayou Oil Mill and Manufacturing Company. All right, now we go on down to Whitesboro, New Jersey. Shout out to all my New Jerseyans, man. Whitesboro. In 1901, members of the AME Zion Church in Cape May, New Jersey, wanted to buy land for a housing development. Due to white resistance, they were unable to purchase land in Cape May. With the help of investor and politician George H. White of North Carolina, they purchased 2,000 acres north of the city. See how Yahweh works with people? Can take a person from one part of the land and bring them to another part to make something happen. Buyers had to be of sound character with industrial habits. They can buy 1/6 acre lot for $50 or $5 down. White's involvement prompted more black people from Virginia and North Carolina to buy plots. And in 1902, the town was named Whitesboro in his honor. It still exists today. And here's an ad. Have you have you a home? Why not? Dear friend, why not own a home at beautiful Whitesboro, New Jersey, near the sea? Owning a home makes you a better citizen and a more desirable neighbor. There's nothing on earth like a place you can call home when you own it and fee simple. Out of some over 1,200 lots, we have a few left, and this is your opportunity to secure one before it's too late. The lure of our people now is to the north or west. For this reason, the lots will sell fast and at the rate they are now selling will not last long. We sell on reasonable terms. If you have not all the money, make small payments, $5 down and $2 per month. The property is well situated on a knoll near Whitesboro Station and the colored graded school. This property is some of the most desirable property in Whitesboro. Yours truly, S.H. Vick, owner, Wilson, North Carolina. Did I do the black codes already? No, I did not. All right, so now we on to the black codes. All right, so take a break if y'all need to, man. We'll do like a 2 minute break, and we'll come back and go through the black codes. And I hope y'all enjoying this, man. Really appreciate y'all. Hit that like button for a player and share this with your peoples, man. Happy Memorial Day, and I'll be right back. All right, here's a quick commercial.
It down! Shut it down!
Heck yeah, I appreciate y'all, man, for checking this out because there's some realness right here, man. Love this right here. Yeah,
In, represent, we go full. Evident, it's hot, dog. You know what I'm talking, how we walking, y'all. About to get it, yeah, so exquisite. Traveling all across the globe. Let you know just how we roll. Keep it in control, that's what we do. Yeah, we talking that revenue. Somebody beat, I'ma just rip the shreds. Like the chicken on your taco, 3 in the morning, street cred. Man, yeah, we out here on the sequence. Never motherfucker cheating because the answer's all within. I educate, dog, and I blend amongst the crowd. Black and I'm proud. I get down, man. That's gravity. Motherfuckers got the tenacity. Actually, try to tackle me, man. I've been a super athlete. It means I'm airborne, man. Shit, gonna motherfucking get your vaccine. I stay clean. Yeah, man, shit. Me, never me, unless you're talking about the average. But, man, I'm trying to be exponential daily. Yeah, man. Pay me.
Black codes after the Civil War. After the Civil War, former Confederate states created a system of laws, black codes restricting African Americans' civil and economic rights. Black codes punished vagrancy, forced freedmen to sign labor contracts, and blocked African Americans' rights to vote. Violators were subject to arrest, and prisoners' labor could be sold. Take a look at that and harp on that for a minute. Just look at that. Let's zoom in on this, man. Look at this. Stare at that. This is not just some made up animation, real life. Yeah. The Union as it was, the lost cause, worse than slavery, 1874. Liberia conquers. Let's continue. No person of color can testify against a white person in court unless the white person agrees to it. North Carolina Black Codes, 1866. Every Negro is required to be in the regular service of some white person or former owner who shall be held responsible for the conduct of said Negro. But said employer or former owner may permit said Negro to hire his own time by special permission in writing, which permission shall not extend over 7 days at any one time. Only white men. Oh, let me go back. And that was the Louisiana Black Codes, 1865. Excuse me. Only white men can serve on juries, hold office, and vote in any state, county, or municipal election. Texas Black Codes, 1866. No colored persons have the right to vote, hold office, or sit on juries in the state. Tennessee Black Codes, 1865. If any freedman, free Negro, or mulatto convicted of any misdemeanors provided against in this act shall fail or refuse for the space of 5 days after conviction to pay the fine and cost imposed, such person shall be hired out by the sheriff or other officer at public outcry to any white person who will pay said fine at all costs and take said convict for the shortest time. So, when white people say, oh, my people didn't own slaves, and da 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 da, guess what? Mississippi Black Code said that you ain't have to be no slave owner. You want to pay that fine? You can have it. Get out of here. All right, so I want y'all to see that. We got more slave codes. Slave codes defined enslaved people as property that could be worked, sold, abused, and killed. Slave codes denied enslaved people the right to marry, travel, gather in groups, or be educated. These laws made slavery a race based, permanent, inheritable condition. Children born to an enslaved woman were by law enslaved themselves, even if the father was a free person or an enslaver. The codes even restricted the rights of free black people. Black people, excuse me, black codes created after Civil War were similar to slave codes. The black code's goal was to maintain white control. That's a bar. Look at that. Black codes created after the Civil War were similar to slave codes. The black code's goal was to maintain white control. Let's go look at these things, huh? Laws of Virginia. Told you this stuff is governmental. This is all governmental. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just scan it, and when y'all got some time, y'all can pause it and just read over what it says. So I'm gonna zoom in. I think this is as far as they let me zoom in. The Black Laws, speech of Honorable B.W. Arnett of Greene County and Honorable J. A. Brown of Cuyahoga County, in Ohio House of Representatives, March 10, 1886. Yeah, read over this. Be it therefore enacted and declared by this present Grand Assembly that all children born in this country shall be held bond in slavery or free only according to the condition of their mother. What kind of law is that? Virginia Slave Code 1662. The General Assembly shall pass laws to permit owners of slaves to emancipate them, saving the rights of creditors and to prevent them from remaining in the state after they are emancipated. Kentucky Slave Code 1850. So if I'm reading this correctly, a person is freed. He can't live in that state. He can't live in Kentucky. No black or mulatto person or person shall hereafter be permitted to be sworn or give evidence in any court of record or elsewhere in this state in any course, depending or matter of controversy, where either party to the same is a white person, or in any persecution which shall be instituted in behalf of the Senate against any white person. Ohio Black Law, 1807. It shall not be lawful for any slave to go at large as a freeman, exercising his or her own discretion in the employment of his or her time, nor shall it be lawful for any slave to keep house to him or herself as a free person, exercising the like discretion in the employment of his or her time. North Carolina Slave Code, 1831. And if any free person of color or slave shall keep any school or other place of instruction for teaching any slave or free person of color to read or write, such free person of color or slave shall be liable to the same fine, imprisonment, and corporal punishment as are by this act imposed and inflicted upon free persons of color and slaves for teaching slaves to read or write. Ain't this some South Carolina Slave Code, 1840? So again, these people they don't want this stuff into the schools because it's going to start making people critically think about this nation and why they do what they do and act the way they act. Clara Brown was born enslaved in Virginia in 1800. She remained in bondage in Logan County, Kentucky, until 1859, when she gained her freedom. Kentucky slave code required black people freed by their enslaver to leave the state. See, I just read that. I ain't no lawyer or nothing, but the way I interpret it, that Kentucky slave code is exactly what Clara Brown's story is about. Don't y'all think this is like real, like heartless and cold blooded and monstrous of the United States? So when they don't reparate the descendants of people who built this nation, it's a slap in their face, not ours. Working as a cook on a wagon train, Brown relocated to Denver, Colorado, one of the first African American women to settle there. She purchased land in Colorado, established a successful laundry business, and became a respected philanthropic member of the community. Brown helped newly freed people move to Colorado and searched for her four children, whom she had been separated from during slavery. She eventually found her surviving daughter and granddaughter and brought them to Colorado. Well, Miss Brown, I commend you on your excellence, your majesty. They couldn't stop you, no matter what. So these are the type of stories that they call critical race theory, challenging the black codes. African Americans took various steps to resist black codes, including developing community institutions and organizing politically. At the state and national level, African Americans led conventions that fought for voting rights and fair treatment, elected black politicians, supported legislation that guaranteed equal rights. National Convention of Colored People, Nashville, Tennessee. Take a look at that, baby. We're standing on business. We have now thrown off the mask. Hereafter, to do our talking and to use all legitimate means to get and to enjoy our political privileges. Delegates of the 1865 Convention of Colored Citizens of the state of Arkansas, 1865. Arkansas, where you at, man? Natural State, chime in. Congressman Robert Smalls, a Civil War hero from South Carolina, was one of more than 1,400 black men who held political office in the South during and after Reconstruction. He was elected to several offices, including the United States House of Representatives. Like other black politicians, he eventually lost his office when Southern Democrats disenfranchised African Americans. Smalls was the longest serving African American member of Congress until Adam Clayton Powell Jr. served 12 terms half a century later. Smalls tried unsuccessfully to stop disfranchisement of African Americans in South Carolina 1895 Constitution. Robert Smalls, pioneer. Edmonia G. Highgate. Edmonia G. Highgate taught newly freed children in schools around the South. She was an outspoken advocate for education who wrote about her experiences in newspapers and spoke at colored conventions. So shout out to you, Edmonia G. Highgate, for being a pioneer. Yo, told you, man, if people don't break it down like this, bro, like I break it down. Slavery to sharecropping. What is sharecropping? After the Civil War, African Americans had few opportunities to buy land, and many turned to sharecropping. Under this system, workers paid the landowner a share of the crops while also paying for food, seeds, tools, and rent. Most sharecroppers owed money to their landlord at the end of the year, and many were forced to continue working. Sharecropper Sharecropping kept workers under landowners' economic control. The cotton planter and his pickers. HT's West Point, Mississippi. Y'all see this, man? You look at this. Zoom in. Had kids out here, man. Children. Y'all see this? Do y'all see this, man? Labor and debt. Many landowners wanted sharecroppers to lose money so they could keep them working. Underpaying for crops and overcharging at stores kept sharecroppers indebted to landowners. To protest their poor treatment, sharecroppers began to form unions in the 30s. The Southern Tenant Farmers Union included both black and white members in its ranks. Landless farmers faced resistance to their organizing efforts and were often met with harassment and violence. Farmers were also limited by laws that favored landowners. Yo, man, black people built this nation, bro. Sharecropping. See, a lot of people think Latinos the only ones sharecropping. You better do some research, bro. From slavery to sharecropping. If anything, sharecropping was even worse. Look at this. My peoples, man. Beautiful. I'm proud of y'all, man. No matter how good account you kept, you had to go by their account because he was always right and you were always wrong if there was a difference. Henry Blake, sharecropper, 1938. Agricultural tools. Agricultural workers used hoes like this to prepare the land for planting and to remove weeds. Scales were used to determine the weight of cotton and how much a worker would get paid. The scales were not always accurate, but workers had to accept the results. So draw a hole, and the cotton scale used in South Carolina. Weighing cotton. So here's a picture of sharecroppers weighing cotton. Look at that. Sharecroppers contract. This document from Dawson County, Georgia, dated February 1, 1866, is a handwritten sharecropper agreement between Amos G. Robinson and Barry Couch. In the contract, Robinson agrees to give Couch rations, clothing, and a fifth of all harvests resulting from Couch's labor, plus half of the future harvest worked by the pair. Many freedmen could not read and signed unfair contracts with landowners. Couch signed his agreement with an X. Give us our own land and we take care ourselves. But without land, the old masters can hire us or starve us as they please. Attributed to a freedman in South Carolina, CA 1865. All right. So that is my Memorial Day commemoration to the builders of this nation. So we talked about life after slavery. We talked about all black towns that were built, and we talked about from slavery to sharecropping. So like, share, and subscribe and share this video, and I'll keep bringing you content that makes much sense. All right, y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
In